Hi, my name is Erik Braley. As some of you locally may know me as Shaky. ACT means a lot to me, guys, so they're doing this really cool project. Make sure to click the link below and check that out and help them out any way you can. When I first moved up here to Aberdeen many years ago, ACT was one of the things that I used to help volunteer at to give me something to do in my spare time when I was unemployed. So I helped out with the South Dakota Film Festival, running the projectors. I've done several plays where I helped run spotlights and all that stuff. So excellent people there. It was a lot of fun. What I wanted to tell you guys about was a time many years ago when I just dropped out of high school and my father was in the hospital with a fungal infection in his chest and in his lungs. Something he picked up from living in New Mexico or Las Vegas. It's something that most of us are immune to. Unfortunately, my dad wasn't. He was in the hospital for about 2 months, so I was left to fend for myself for 2 months as a 17-year-old or 18-year-old, I can't remember. But, so, I'm trying to be as responsible as I can, but as a young adult, I decided to have a few house parties every now and then. And it was during one of these house parties that a very good friend of mine and his girlfriend decided that they wanted me to meet this girl. It was his girlfriend's stepsister. And they bring her over, and she's this nerdy looking little girl with gorgeous dark hair and these big silly bangs, like big old 90s bangs, okay? And my heart stopped, and I thought, that's probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. And they tell you time doesn't stop. They do that whole stand still time thing. Just everything just stopped at that moment, and I knew that was the love of my life. I was determined. Puppy love. We spent the whole night in the kitchen making food for everybody. I had the old 50s space age stove, so it made that awesome sci-fi noise when you opened and closed it. And every time we made pizzas, we'd giggle at that. And we made sandwiches for ourselves. We even had a chaperone on this date. It was my big old fat cat, Jasmine. And she'd sit down and she'd eat the food. She was big on people food, so we'd give her like sandwiches, meat, bread, all that. And the cat loved it. But her and I hit it off really well. And turns out we were both kind of like the big nerds in our school, like the smart aleck know-it-alls, who everybody hated because we raised our hands and we'd ask the teacher more questions, all that dumb stuff. But we spent the whole night just chatting, man, and we hit it off really well. Time would go on, and I dated that girl. I ended up actually dating that girl. That was my first long-term relationship, and it went on for about 2 years. But unfortunately, as the age-old tale goes, she went to college up here in Aberdeen, actually, and I went on to go live my life. And we lived our lives for a long time, about 8 years apart. But as fate would have it, I ended up coming back to Aberdeen here in around 2010. The theater being one of the only places I could go to do stuff and have fun and volunteer to do something, keep myself sane. But during this time period too, I started talking to her again, and as fates would have it, opportunity arose, and we ended up dating again. And I ended up marrying that girl. After all that time apart, after all that, we always stayed in touch, but that feeling for both of us never really left. It just took us time to mature and get older and know what we wanted in life and live life. I've been married to her now for about 7 years, I think. 6 or 7 years, and it's been, every single day has been the best day of my life with her. And I remember after that first date I had with her, my friends ran up to me and they had to know. And I looked them dead in the eye and I said, I want you guys to know one day I'm going to marry that woman. And they laughed at me, and they thought I was crazy. And I said, I'm going to marry that woman. I knew that no matter who else I'd ever be with, I think she was the only one I knew I was going to marry. And it happened. So during these tough times, I try to remember the good points. And there can't be a better point than that. So that's my story. I just thought I'd share it with you guys. It's my favorite thing to tell. I've been in many cities. I have lived in many states. I've done a lot for a young man. But nothing will top that tale of being able to say that I knew the moment I saw this woman, I knew I was going to marry her. No matter what, I was going to marry her. And it worked out. And here we are. So I wish everybody the best out there. I hope you're doing well. Again, please support the Aberdeen Community Theater and what they do. Everybody has a chance to participate and help in some context. So even if you don't think you can act, go out and try to act. If you don't know what the heck you're doing, go there anyway, do it. They're awesome people. I think every town needs to have a theater and do stuff. So I hope everybody's doing well out there and staying sane. Take care. Bye. Aberdeen Community Theater, get into the act.